Okay, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for this webinar. We hope it's going to be a useful time for you to spend and answer some of your questions on how to complete the University of California, Berkeley Supplemental Update for the College of Letters and Science. So we're going to go through some things during our presentation. We will talk about what is called the UC Transfer Academic Update. That's for the system. We will also talk about our specific supplemental update for the Berkeley campus. We're going to talk about why these updates are important. We'll also give you some information about the comment boxes. We'll go over what we have on our website, which is the transfer application checklist. We'll also talk about the reading and composition requirement specifically for students who are not attending a California community college and where to find that information. We will be talking about some important dates for fall of 2019 applicants, which is what you are. We'll have the live demo. Ricardo will take over that, and I think that's going to be very useful for you. And then finally, if you have questions, we'll have a website where you can go and contact an admissions officer. All of you should have already received an email that's similar to this, and it is from the system-wide office for the Transfer Academic Update. On that email, you will have information that will be available to you in early January, so you should have already gotten the email. You will have an information on how to access the site, and you will have access to the UC system-wide website through the end of March. You will be asked to provide a list of courses that you actually did complete for fall of 18, and then your grades will be reported also. You'll also be able to change or update your courses that you had planned for spring or winter. And we also like to know if you're doing anything in the summer through 2019. It's important that you do know that although you can report your winter grades should you have a community college that has a winter intersession, the Berkeley campus cannot guarantee that we'll be able to see those grades during our review. If you do not have any courses that you have in progress or planned, we still need you to fill out the Transfer Academic Update to notify and confirm that there are no classes planned or scheduled. We will also, or you should have also received an email from the Berkeley campus as well concerning our specific supplemental update. That again will be available or has been available since early January. We want you to go directly to the site, and it's at the map at Berkeley. Hopefully many of you have already logged on to that. The email does give you directions on how to do that. And this particular webinar is specifically for the College of Letters and Science, and that particular college will not consider any updates that you make after January 31st. So January 31st is a very important deadline. Failure to submit your forms by that deadline will jeopardize your admission chances. So it's very important that you do this before January 31st. So why are we asking for this information? The supplemental information for Berkeley does give you an opportunity to give us more information, and more information is always good. We want our office to have the information that is necessary for us to continue a fair review of your application, particularly as we look for eligibility for admission to the College of Letters and Science. And it also will allow you to help or have the opportunity to explain any special circumstances. Now there's going to be some comment boxes available to you both on the system-wide website, the Transfer Academic Update, as well as the supplemental for Berkeley that would allow you to explain, for example, changes in your schedule. So say originally you said you were going to take a particular set of courses and for whatever reason those were changed. It lets you update that and explain why you had to change it. With any special circumstances, if something happened and you were not able to do what you said you were going to do, or something has happened in your life that has impacted your ability to do your work, then you want to be able to explain that. We also, maybe you have you had a planned course in your spring courses that you needed for your major, but you couldn't find the articulated course, although you thought you could, or maybe it was offered and now it's not, so you can explain that. And then ultimately, if you did receive a low grade in the fall, and you want to explain, maybe you were working a lot or something happened, then you can do so in these comment boxes. There's also a checklist. Many of you hopefully have seen this on our website. It is a checklist for transfer applicants, and you will see that it's very clear, and it'll make sure that you follow the process so that everything goes smoothly in the review of your application. The reading and composition requirement is a university requirement for all majors and all colleges. So if you are at not a community college, because if you are at a community college, you can find out those courses on assist.org. But if you're not attending a community college in California and you have a particular course or two courses of English composition that you've taken, you can use this website on our website, admissions website, that will allow you to look up your institution and then look up the course as to whether or not it has been something that we can then use to satisfy the reading and composition. If you are not able to find your institution on this list or the course that you took, then you need to just do your best completing the supplemental form by putting in a course that is a reading and composition course, and we will evaluate it during our review. Important dates for you as applicants. We will be notifying you of the admission decision on April 19th, and that is going to be notified through the map at Berkeley website and the portal. You'll get an email. Should you be admitted, they would also include conditions of admission, which are very, very important. They are expectations that you must fulfill in order to keep your admissions. And then you'll also get a financial aid offer, and hopefully that will allow you to be able to afford to come to the Berkeley campus. On June 1st, you will need to decide where you're going to be attending. Hopefully, if you're admitted, you decide to come to Berkeley. And then in early June, you will also have a housing application due date should you want to have live on campus for the housing options, and that will be part of your portal as well. And then July 1st, we will require that all official transcripts, test scores, whatever it is that you need to send are in our office. So July 1st is that deadline. And then finally, should you be coming to Berkeley, there is what's called the Golden Bear Orientation in August, right before you start your classes. So now I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Ricardo Avitia, who is going to go through a live demo of those supplemental forms.
Thank you, Anna. Appreciate that. So let me go ahead and switch gears here and share our other screen. And so as you can see, this is what, the map at Berkeley, portal looks like. And so I'm going to go ahead and sign in with our test applicant here. And when you sign in, many of you should by now be familiar with this portal here, which is your My Application portal at Berkeley, or otherwise known as Map at Berkeley. There's a ton of great information in here. Just kind of going from the top down, you'll see some status updates. This is a very, very cool link. This has application FAQs. I'm going to go ahead and open that just so that you can see that there's a very nice, extensive list of Q&A that you can definitely browse through. This is a great starting point. If you do have any questions, I would ask that you check the application FAQs before contacting admissions, just because a lot of your answers may be found in those FAQs. If you keep going down, you'll see forms. And so right now, many of you are going to have these general education / breadth for the college of letters and science forms required. Some of you may have them in progress, but for now, if you haven't actually opened it, this is what it should look like. And then you'll see the checklist for your application, and you'll see the different items. In this case, it does say that the application was received. If we move on over to the right, there's a really awesome feature of helpful links here. Again, it takes you to that admissions homepage. There's that application FAQs link once more. There's campus resources. there's housing, financial aid, and then if you'd like to visit the campus prior to making your decision, you can absolutely do this as well. Your addresses should be listed here on the right side. If you do need to edit your address, you just go ahead and click on edit addresses, and you should be able to change your address. And then lastly, way at the bottom here, there are account tools. And so if you need to change your email address, change your password, if you need to withdraw your application for whatever reason, this is where you'll do it as well. And then there's a privacy statement and a logout button. Way at the bottom, on the left-hand corner here, there's a contact us link. You can click on that contact us link. It's going to redirect you to a different page. On that page, if you do have any questions, you can go ahead and select that you are an applicant. It's going to ask you to log into your Map at Berkeley portal once more. Once you log in, you'll have a lot of different features that'll help you navigate the contact us page and help you get the question and the answer that you need. So many of you should be familiar with this. What we're going to go through today is the general education breadth form. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it should take me to this page here. So again, many of you have already seen this page. We're going to walk through this page and just kind of give you some tips and advice on how to complete this actual form. And so we're going to start with the bottom. And it says, you know, the checklist item is required form and must be submitted no later than 11:59 on January 31st. Completion of this form enables admissions readers to determine whether or not you have fulfilled your general education / breadth requirements. These requirements can be fulfilled one of three ways. So you're either going to utilize IGETC, UC Reciprocity, or Essential Skills, and all coursework must be completed by the end of the spring term, and you may not use the summer term to satisfy general education or breadth requirements. So that's really important to know, is that these requirements must be completed by the end of the spring 2019 term in order to still continue to meet the requirement. So before we go on, I just want to show you the links, the IGETC link here. If you go ahead and click on that link, it'll actually show you what the IGETC is, what the different areas are, how many units you need, so on and so forth. So this is all great information. UC Reciprocity, there's no link there, but that is actually for students that are at another UC that are transferring to UC Berkeley. You'll want to check in with your current UC about reciprocity, and essentially it says that if you have UC Reciprocity, you've completed all of your lower division general education at any other UC institution that you transfer to. And then there's the Essential Skills link. We'll open that as well. And what you want to focus on is this here, LNS requirements, the Essential Skills. Here at Berkeley, we're not too concerned with the 7-course breadth pattern for eligibility. What we're really going to be focusing on are reading and composition, quantitative reasoning, and foreign language. You can click on these links, and it gives you a ton of different ways on how you can satisfy these different requirements. And so here you can see the different ways to satisfy reading and composition. There's a really great tool, especially here on the bottom, for those of you that are from schools outside of the California Community College, in terms of how to complete the reading and composition requirements. So this is a really awesome website to utilize as you're filling out the forms. You'll see the quantitative reasoning as well. There's different exams and different methods of satisfying this requirement. And then lastly, you'll see the foreign language requirement here, which we now call the language other than English requirement. And you'll see the different ways to satisfy all of the different requirements as well. So this is a really great tool, a really great website to go ahead and verify whether or not you are going to satisfy breadth via IGETC, UC Reciprocity, or Essential Skills. Just a note, for major preparation, it is a very, very important factor in our decision. You want to make sure that you completed all of the major prerequisites as much as you can, all of the required courses. The more you've completed, the more competitive your application can become. If you do want more information on these major prerequisites, those of you at California community colleges, you'll want to use assist.org. That's going to be the end-all be-all for all of the coursework that you need. For those of you that are attending schools outside of California community colleges, what you'll want to do is you'll want to visit our guide.berkeley.edu website. It's our online catalog. You'll want to click on undergraduate degree program, select your major, and then look at the requirements. So just to kind of give you a quick run through of what that looks like, this is the guide, and the guide is actually a cool tool as well, so that you can actually see different courses and kind of what it is that we offer. But for those of you from non-California community colleges, you'll go here where it says undergraduate. You'll click on degree programs, and then you'll see a list of all of our degrees here. And then we'll go ahead and select one. Let's just go ahead and select chemistry for now. You'll see all of the different requirements. And on the right-hand side, you'll see what is called major requirements. And so for the major, you see all of these lower division courses here. What you'll want to do for a non-California community college applicant is take courses that are similar in nature, or if not the same, to the lower division requirements posted on this website. So you'll want to take a general chemistry course at your college. You'll want to take these 2 organic chemistry courses, calculus, and so on and so forth. So the guide is a really good tool, and this is really what is going to be utilized for those of you from non-California community colleges. Those of you that are from California community colleges, you'll want to go to Assist, and this is what it looks like. You'll select your institution. I'm just going to select Allen Hancock because it was the first one there. You'll select Berkeley as the campus. You will select the major, so we're just going to select architecture, and then you'll see all of the information as well as the coursework that you need. Most of you should be familiar with what this looks like, but I just wanted to briefly run through that as we went along through the presentation. Failure to complete this form, again, will jeopardize your chance of admission. You must submit these forms. Students that don't submit these forms absolutely jeopardize their chances of admission, because it doesn't really tell us how you're going to be meeting this requirement. So the first question that you can ask is, how will you fulfill breadth requirements for the College of Letters and Science? Please choose one of the 3 options. IGETC, you'll notice, is only for California community college applicants. If you are applying from a school outside of the California community college, the likelihood of you utilizing IGETC to finish this requirement is very, very slim. So unless you've completed California community college coursework during your last term and you have IGETC, you're probably not going to use it. So for those of you using IGETC, you'll go ahead and click on IGETC, and you'll notice that it will populate another set of questions here. For IGETC, it's very, very important that you understand that UC Berkeley will only accept full UC IGETC. We do not accept partial IGETC certificates. What that means is some students can get what is called a partial certified IGETC. That means that you've completed the IGETC, but there's a couple of areas that you have not, and so it's partially certified. At Berkeley, we need a fully certified IGETC. If you have no idea what certification is or what the difference between full and partial is, I highly recommend that you talk to a counselor very, very soon to determine whether or not you're going to have a fully certified IGETC or a partial. Because again, we only accept full UC IGETC. So with that note, it's going to ask you, will you complete your full IGETC by the end of the spring? The answer is yes. It's going to stay as it is. If you answer no, it's going to tell you that if you're not planning to complete IGETC by the spring, because again, it has to be complete by the spring 2019 term, please review the other options. In this case, if you're not at another UC, the only other option for you as a community college student will be Allen S. Breadth Essential Skills. And we'll talk about how to go and look for that in just a second. So we're going to go ahead and leave it as yes, because the hope is that everyone that selected IGETC is going to have it by the end of the spring term. Will you have passing letter grades? You need to have a C or better in your IGETC courses. You're going to select yes, very, very simple. If you select no, very, very simple. Nothing is going to pop up, but that's going to be an indicator to us and to you that you may want to meet with a counselor to see if you meet this requirement without IGETC. And then the last question just asks you if you've checked with your community college counselor to make sure that you have full IGETC in the spring. And again, right, if you click on yes, you're good to go. And if you click on no, it's going to tell you to check in with your college. Another thing to note is that your community college is the one that actually certifies IGETC. IGETC certification is not something that Berkeley does. IGETC certification is something that your community college does. So once you answer these 3 questions, you're going to pretty much scroll down to the bottom. If you have additional comments, if you'd like to put something, if you'd like to say something like, I have a planned course in the spring 2019 term for IGETC, you can do so. That's perfectly fine. The comments are totally up to you and how you want to utilize them. And then there's a statement that you need to confirm and understand. And it says, I understand my admission to UC Berkeley does not guarantee admission to the major of your choice. It is important to check with the department of your intended major immediately to be certain that you are on track to declare your major. type the word confirm in the text box below to indicate you have read and agreed to the statement above. So you'll type confirm. You'll want to type that in all capital letters. You'll hit submit, and you're good to go. This note here on the bottom is very important. For those of you that may not know, the College of Letters and Science, applicants to that college are admitted to the college, not necessarily to the major. And so you do have to declare your major during that first semester that you're here at Berkeley. So if you're not sure whether or not you're going to have, be on track to declare your major, we absolutely recommend that you contact your department to kind of get an idea of where you're at, right? So we can go ahead and move on. So IGETC is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty simple. You're just clicking yeses and nos. This and UC reciprocity are the easiest to complete. So yeah, so that's how we do that one. I'm gonna skip LNS Breadth Essential Skills for now, just because UC reciprocity is very similar to IGETC. Again, it is telling you that you need to get a letter of reciprocity. It's an official document, and it does confirm that you've completed your lower division general education requirements at your UC campus. UC reciprocity is only for students that are transferring from another UC school, right? So if you attended a UC campus, you'll want to check with your advisor to see if you're eligible, which again means that you have completed all of your lower division GE. For those of you utilizing UC reciprocity, you're just going to select which UC campus you are receiving reciprocity from. It's going to ask you where you completed by the spring term. Again, yes. If you select no, it's going to ask you to look at another option. And in this case, it's going to be LNS Breadth Essential Skills. But again, we hope that everyone says yes. And then again, we do not accept partial reciprocity. We accept full UC reciprocity. And we want to make sure that you've checked in with an advisor. So you'll click yes or you'll click no. That really isn't going to be too much of a huge factor, but we do want to have a reminder there for you so that you can check in with your advisors at your UC. Again, you'll have an opportunity to submit additional comments, and then you can go ahead and select, type in confirm and submit. So the last option, and this option is going to be for all students, so anyone can utilize the LNS Essential Skills Breadth requirement. Most of you that are coming from non-California community colleges and non-UC, some of you even at a UC maybe use this essential skills requirement, but again, this is open for everyone. So if you're utilizing IGETC and you realize you're not going to have UC IGETC, then your other alternative is probably going to be essential skills. Same thing with UC reciprocity. If you're in track to receive UC reciprocity and you realize, oh my God, I actually don't have UC reciprocity because I'm missing a course, then this will be your next option. And this is what we do as well. We'll look if a student says they're going to have IGETC or reciprocity and they end up not having it, then we'll do a back check and see if you actually have the essential skills. The essential skills requirement, as we showed earlier, is basically a requirement that is 2 courses in reading and composition, 1 course in quantitative reasoning, and then way at the bottom you'll see a language other than English requirement. So these are the only 3 things that you'll want to submit. So starting again from up at the top, it says you have indicated you will fulfill your breadth requirements with the College of Letters and Science Essential Skills. Please list all of your courses for each area, including course number and title, grade, units, term type, whether it's a semester or quarter system, term taken, and the college where the course was taken. This is very important. If you're currently completing the course, please use in progress for the grade to indicate that the course is in progress. If you plan on completing the course in a future term, please use PL for the grade to indicate that the course is planned to be completed. So I know many of you will be taking courses now or will be taking them in the winter or the spring terms. You'll want to use IP or PL depending on whether or not the course is in progress or the course is planned. For those of you that are at a California community college, there is a couple of steps here, a few steps actually, I'm sorry, that you can look at. This is going to show you what courses meet the essential skills. This is very, very important because even though you might be on track to finish IGETC and you realize that it's partial, the courses that you complete for IGETC areas in English, math, and language other than English, those courses aren't always the same courses that you can use to satisfy the essential skills requirement. So if you're not using IGETC, you're going to end up using essential skills. It's very, very important that you follow the instructions here. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on assist.org. So we're going to go ahead and open that. You're going to select your institution. You're going to select UC Berkeley. And then when you scroll down here where it says for general education / breadth, you'll select GE / breadth. And then you'll see that requirement here, right? The essential skills. You'll see some info there. And then here, it's going to show you all the ways you can satisfy reading and composition, whether that be by exam or whether that be by coursework. So at Allen Hancock College, a student needs English 101 and English 102 to satisfy the reading and composition requirement. You keep scrolling down, you'll see quantitative reasoning. You'll again see different ways of satisfying the requirement with exams, and then you'll see coursework, right? So any of these courses listed here are courses that will satisfy the QR requirement. And then you can continue to scroll down, and then you'll see other exam scores for the foreign language requirement, as well as all of the different courses that satisfy that requirement. So it's very important, again, that you use assist.org and you follow the instructions that are listed here so that you can determine which courses are used for essential skills. So moving on, you do have a question that says, will you complete it by the spring term? Yes. This one, it says no. If you don't have any other options because you're not going to have IGETC or you're not going to have UC reciprocity and you're not going to have essential skills, go ahead and leave this marked as no, because at this point, there might not be other options for you to complete it. But again, we're hoping that everyone does have it, so we're going to leave it at yes. All of your essential skills courses must be passed with a letter grade of C or better, unless the college course that you're taking is only offered on a pass, no pass basis. So all of these courses must be completed with letter grades of C or better, unless your college only offers the course on a pass, not pass basis. So again, if you click yes, which is what we hope you all do, you'll just move on. And if you click no, same thing, you'll move on. This is really more informational for us. So we're going to go ahead and leave it at yes. So then you see now the different requirements. You see reading and composition up here. You'll see math here, which is the QR. And then you'll see this language other than English, which is the foreign language. Those of you from an out-of-state community college or another four-year university, basically anyone outside of the California Community College, for reading and composition, you'll want to use the website that Ana showed you in the slide. So if we click here, it's going to take us to this web page. What you'll want to do is you can enter your college name. So let's just say we are going to put that you were at Miami, the University of Miami. You'll look for your school here, and you'll see there's different options. We're just going to select University of Miami here. And then you'll see coursework. So University of Miami, English 105 and English 106 satisfy the R1A and R1B requirement up until 2019. So if you took it any time between these dates, that course does satisfy the reading and composition requirement. If you took English 1A, or I'm sorry, English 105 at the University of Miami, and you took the course on September 1st of 2015, this course does not meet this requirement. So it's very important that you not only pay attention to the course name and title, but also the begin and the end date of when you completed that course. So you can go ahead and scroll through, and you can go through different schools. Each of the schools are going to have lists here. If for whatever reason your school is not listed, or if your course is not listed, or a course is listed but says that it does not meet the requirement, what you'll want to do is you'll want to indicate another course that you feel may meet the reading and composition requirement. We do not evaluate coursework. We will not respond to emails that say, hey, can you look at all of these courses and tell me which one meets the requirement? What you'll want to do is utilize your best judgment, input a course, and then as we review the applications, we will do our fair review and look through all of the courses to see if there is one that we can identify as a reading and composition course. And that's, again, only for those courses that are not listed on that website. So again, from those of you that are from a non-California community college and are looking to see what courses from my school meet this reading and composition requirement, you'll want to click there. In going down, right? So it's going to ask you the question, I satisfy this requirement with one of these options. If it's college level coursework, a pop-up is going to come up and you'll see English 1A and English 1B. So you're just going to put, right, your department name, English, you know, let's just say it was 1A, it was English composition at your school, right? I'm at a semester school and I took it, it was a 3-unit course, I got an A, and I took it at Citrus College. Okay, so you're going to input that info as it is. I took this in the fall of 2016 term. That's it. Pretty simple. You'll do the same thing for English R1B, right? English, you'll do 1B, right? You'll say that this was like English composition, you know, 2. This was semester, 3 units. I got an A. I took this one also at Citrus College, and I did this in the fall of 2017, right? And again, I'm making all of this stuff up, but that's how you fill it out. Some colleges do have 2 courses that you need to complete. If you do need to input another course, you'll select this box, and then another option will allow you to select a second course. In the event that there's a 3rd course, if you needed to take 3 courses to satisfy this requirement, then you can utilize the additional comments to add the additional 3rd course. But again, there is a checkbox if you need to add a second one. So it's pretty simple, okay? There's also one for English R1B. If you are using AP exams, right, score of 5 on AP English Literature and Composition satisfies the entire reading and composition requirement. So clicking on that button won't pop anything up because your score itself is going to satisfy the requirement. A score of 5 or 6 or 7 on the IB exam, same thing. Or a score of 4 on AP English Literature plus a college level course, right? So if you got a 4 and then you took English R1B, you'll see that it's going to pop up. You'll enter the course and you're good to go. And then the last option is for a score of 4 or 5 on the AP English Language and Composition exam. So for the most part, it should be pretty self-explanatory. You're just selecting one of the options that best fits your particular needs or your circumstances, and then you will input the course, type it in, and then move on. So we're just going to leave it at that for now. Same thing for the math, right? I've satisfied this requirement with college level course. You're going to do the same exact thing, right? Put, you know, your department. We're just going to say math 1A. We're going to say that this was calculus, you know, 1. Oops. You know, this was a semester, you know, 5-unit class. You know, we got an A, and we took this at Berkeley City College in the fall of the 2018 term, right? You'll see all the other different options, right? SAT, right? 520, 570 on the level 1 exams, all the different AP options, and you'll see that these are not going to have the course pop up because these scores will satisfy the entire QR requirement. So college level course, we'll just leave it as it is, just for the sake of the example here. And then the 3rd one is language other than English, right? So it's essentially the same thing, completing college level coursework. You do got to complete the 2nd level of a language. And again, that's all listed on the degree requirements webpage for the College of Letters and Science. And so you'll input the courses there. If you need to put 3 courses, you'll use the additional comments. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put that it was Spanish and that it was Spanish, you know, 3. And I'm just going to put Spanish, you know, 3rd level. I'll put this one was a quarter. I'll put it was a 5 quarters units. I got an A. I'm just going to, you know, say that I went to Foothill College, fall 2018, right? Same thing. If you don't need the 2nd course, you don't need to input it. You'll also notice that there's other options as well, right? Completing 3 years, an AP test, an IB exam, a Foreign Service Institute or defense language, and so on and so forth. For this one, the 3 years of the same foreign language in high school, very, very important. These are for students that attended high school in the United States. You have to have the 3rd level. So that means that you have to have completed the 3rd level higher of a foreign language with grades of C or better in high school. So if you took Spanish 3, Spanish 4, or AP Spanish, you satisfy the requirement. So it's not necessarily 3 years, it's the 3rd level. So you can't take, for example, Spanish 1, French 1, and German 1 and think, oh, I've completed the requirement because I got 3 years of a foreign language. It's got to be the same foreign language. So again, the third level in high school. Many of you are international applicants, and many of you have attended high school or middle school as well in another country. If this is your particular case, for those of you that are international students that are using your language of instruction to satisfy this requirement, this is what you're going to do. For international students to satisfy this language other than English requirement, you must have attended a minimum of 3 years after 6th grade with a language of instruction that is not English, right? So what that means is if you went to, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, anything after grade 9 or the 9th year of instruction that you completed in it where the language of instruction was not English, 9th grade and up, you've satisfied this requirement. 9th grade and up, you've satisfied this requirement. Now, I know there's not an option for students that fit this criteria. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to select the second radio button that says completing 3 years of the same foreign language in high school with grades of letters to your height. And the additional comments, just go ahead and note, I attended an international school where the language of instruction, or LOI, was not English. That will suffice for our purposes. That is going to let us know that you are satisfying this requirement with your international coursework, because if you went to school in another language that was not English, you do have this expertise. Now, I know many of you are also wondering about exams and if you can test out of it. And there is an opportunity for you to test out of this LOTE requirement because many of you are very familiar with another language. However, it's very, very difficult sometimes to find a faculty member on our campus because it has to be done from a UC Berkeley faculty member. It's very difficult sometimes to get a faculty member to test a student. So we don't see too many students utilizing that option. So unless you're utilizing your high school coursework, your language of instruction not being English because you're an international student, or one of the other options listed on this table, the likelihood of you satisfying this requirement in another way is very, very slim. So that's how you're going to complete this form. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty easy to navigate. I know there's definitely a lot of questions with how to find courses and which, of the courses that I completed are going to satisfy which of the different areas. And so hopefully you got some good info here for how to fill out this form. Once we got it all filled out, you'll click submit. It should take you to the homepage of your Map at Berkeley portal. And here at the bottom, you'll now see that there was a check mark and that you submitted the form. For best functionality, you want to use the Chrome browser. That's definitely something I forgot to mention. There's been, I guess, a little bit of some issues with other browsers, and we've noticed that using Chrome is the best. If you need to edit your answers for whatever reason, you can click on edit, and it takes you right back into the screen, and you can go ahead and edit anything that you need to edit on this particular form, right? So if you do some edits, you'll just go ahead and update it again, and then you will see the green checkbox status saying that you've completed the requirement. So that's how you're going to go. That's how you fill out the forms. That is how we want students to fill out the forms. We do understand that many of you may have questions about courses and how to fill it out and so on and so forth. So if you do have any questions, there is a great website where you can actually see your admissions officer. The website is listed down here below. You'll click on that website, and then you're going to click on either the California county or the state, or maybe not so many international applicants, transfer applicants. So if you're an international student, but you're attending a California community college, you'll want to use California County. So you're just going to click on whichever county or whichever school, wherever it is that you're at, that is the admissions officer that's going to be for you. And let me just kind of show you really quickly, since I have this up, what that looks like. So we go here, and we're just going to put meet your admissions officer. And when you scroll down, right, you'll go to California County. So if you're in Alameda County, you're at Berkeley City College, these are your admissions officers here, Tiffany Carter and Dion Teasley. If you are in Los Angeles County, you'll see Anna Rafferty, who was online with us earlier today. You'll see Lakeisha, and you'll see Alisar, so on and so forth, right? You'll scroll down. For those of you from out of state, there's also out-of-state regional managers that you can contact. And then there's international managers that you can contact as well, right? So that's just the page that you'll want to utilize. With that said, we do appreciate your time. We wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your admissions officers with any questions that you may have. So thank you for participating, and go Bears.